Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So I was doing so well reading down my TBR, and then in the month of April I seem to have gone a little bit crazy when it came to book buying because I have quite the stack of books here and I don't really know how that happened. I'm pretty sure I bought most of them in one day, which is just sad. Okay, so the first three aren't really my fault, but I guess they are because I am the one that joined the swap. I will link my video about the swap down below, and it has all the links for more information because they will be doing the same swap again later this year if you want to get involved. But I've already showed these books, so I will be quick. The first one is Oliver Twist, and I'm excited to get to this because I don't have any Dickens books, so yes. The next one is The Winter's Crime, which I'm currently reading The Winter's Curse, so I don't expect this to stay on my TBR shelf for very long. And the third one is Invisible Bridge, which again I showed in that other one, and I am very excited to get to this one. It's a pretty big book, so I may not get to it right away, but I definitely have heard good things about it, so I'm looking forward to it. I did receive one book from a publisher, and that is The Scent of Triumph by Jan Moran, and I believe the way that I ended up with this was that Shelf Awareness did a giveaway, and you just had to email the publicist and say that you'd like to be entered in the giveaway, and I did that, and then shortly after that this arrived on my doorstep, so I can only assume that that is where it came from. It is by St. Martin's Press, who has sent me something before, so yeah. I'm excited to get to this. It is a story about a woman who gets separated from her family, and I believe it's sort of like her trying to piece her family back together in the time of war. Yeah, and it sounds really fascinating, and I love family stories, and I love historical novels, and so I'm excited to read this one. The cover is stunning. Alright, so the rest of these I bought in one day from 2 used bookstores. So yes, the first one is something I kind of picked up on a whim. It was in the bargain fiction, and it was a short one, and it made me laugh because I'm pretty sure this gets talked about on The Big Bang Theory, and I don't know, I wanted to read it. And it's Flatland, A Romance of Many Dimensions by Edwin A. Abbott. And I don't know, I have no idea what this is about. It just sounded interesting, and it's pretty short, so I don't think this will be on my TBR for that much longer. The next one is by an author I think we all know that I love dearly, and it is the first of her nonfiction books that I have come across. I don't come across a lot of her nonfiction at my used bookstore. I've seen some of her fiction works, but yes, Ann Patchett, Truth and Beauty, and I am looking forward to reading this. I believe this is a story about her friendship, it's a friendship story about just sort of the things that she and her best friend went through. I believe that's what it's about. And the next one was also a whim. I just saw it there looking fantastic on the shelf, and I've heard so many good things about it, and I just think this book cover is great, and the fact that it glows in the dark does not hurt. And that is Mr. Penumbrum's 24-Hour Bookstore by Robin Sloan. Yeah, Robin Sloan. I don't remember what this is about, except that it is basically about a guy who works at a bookstore that's open 24 hours and weird things happen. And that's really all I needed to know because it sounds fascinating, and everyone who's read this seems to talk very highly of it, so I'm looking forward to getting to this one. Okay, so the rest of these, again, I bought on that same day at between 2 used bookstores, and I'm getting ready to sort of embark on something I'm calling Read Hollins. And for those of you who do not know, I am a women's college graduate. I went to Hollins University, and I'm very proud of that, and in light of what has happened recently with Sweetbriar University, I sort of got nostalgic, and I've only read 1, maybe 2 books by Hollins authors, and Hollins is known for its creative writing and has some really famous authors who have graduated from there, so I sort of am setting myself a challenge to read more by Hollins authors. And I put it out on Facebook that I wanted to read more by Hollins authors, and got some recommendations for some authors that I should check out, and I picked up some books. So the first few are by Lee Smith, And the first one is Fair and Tender Ladies, and this is one that I already had on my list and I was interested to read. I don't know what any of these are about, honestly. I just picked them up because they're by Hollins authors. I have read one book by Lee Smith and I wasn't the biggest fan, so I'm giving her another shot because I have to remind myself that there are books by my favorite author that if I had read it first, I probably wouldn't have read anything else by her, so I have to give authors more than one book chance. But so I got Fair and Tender Ladies, and I also got Saving Grace. And the last one I got by Lee Smith is Family Linen, and I almost didn't pick this up, but I was looking through to see what it was about to read the synopsis, and a lot of older books, or this sort of style of mass market paperback, will have the description of the book on the inside, and so I was flipping through to find it, and I found this. Yep. It's signed by Lee Smith, and not only that, it's signed to Jenny. Not my correct spelling, but still, I could not pass this up. I couldn't leave it on the shelves because, you know, fellow women's college graduate, Hollins graduate, and it's signed to Jenny, so I had to take it home. I was excited about that. So the last two are by an author named Jill McCorkle, and she was one that I actually had not heard of, but was recommended to me by some of my classmates, and I got Tending Virginia and Life After Life, which neither of these were the ones that were recommended to me. I was actually recommended her short story collections, but I couldn't find any of those at either of the bookstores, so I went with these for now, and this one especially drew my eye because the cover's gorgeous and it's like a near perfect hardback at a used bookstore. So I was excited about that. And the synopsis of this one was fantastic. It's basically about a retirement home and all the characters that live there, and that just sounds really sweet and fascinating and something that I will definitely enjoy. So I added these to my collection, and some of her short story collections are also in covers sort of like this, so I'm looking forward to getting more of her books because I am definitely interested in her as an author, but I love these covers too. Yeah, so that is it. That is my ridiculous amount of books that I got in the month of April. I have no excuse. I just love to buy books, and apparently I am never going to get my TBR under 50 books. What can I do? Yeah, so I would love to hear what books that you bought in the month of April, and if you've read any of these, I would love to hear from you about which ones I should start with, and I'm going to be doing a video that's a little more in depth about my Read Hollins project, so if you are interested in finding out more about women's college authors, then look for that. Alright, I will see you guys next time. Bye!